What's up, guys? Monetary recap back at it again, and today I wanted to go over the price performance Hex has been having due to Richard Hart's tweet about PulseChain launch. And we took the constructive criticism from the previous videos about the PulseChain launch and that we had not gotten quick enough into the detail, into the main topic, and we apologize for that. So first off, I want to be started off by saying I found this pretty neat site that was giving some historical price returns, and so it really does show you an insight view of which quarters are very green, which ones are red. You can see that January kind of is consistent for being red. December is also consistent being for red. But what a surprising thing is if you start looking towards the later half of April, is for all 3 years running now, April's been pretty consistently green towards the end of it, and that's pretty much shaping up to be the same. I mean, we have about 4 more days, so it could still run a little bit higher into the overbought area. Personally, I would like the stock RSI to pull back even more. It is signaling kind of that we could be close to a top, unless if the launch comes out, this won't necessarily be so much a question. We'll just go completely overbought. We'll no idea. We'll see. We could see 25-cent Hex. We could see 30-cent Hex. I don't know, but we would definitely be overbought once PulseChain launches, and so you could expect a dip. But there's a pretty significant divergence here, because you can see the top here is at 98, and that was the same we had over here when we hit our 35 cents ish, right? 97. But if we go look, the RSIs are pretty much the same. They're getting close to each other. But then if you go look at the weekly, this is on the 14-day, obviously, but if you go look at the weekly, the RSI is much lower than it was on the 35 cents. So if we change the intervals here to get a bigger picture, change it to 30 days, we can also see the same thing. Is the RSI is nowhere near the same level that it was. The weekly stock RSI is taken off. It broke out of this barrier that we kind of got rejected at over here. We were kind of having a fake out here, but if we go on the daily here, we're still overbought. So I mean, we're not insanely overbought. 54 isn't crazy. It doesn't mean you should sell right now, but it would be, you're paying a premium for Hex. We hit a bottom at 10 cents, which was really 9 cents, and then we hit a local all-time high of 19 cents, which is still 78%, which is more than what you would make in 7 years on the S&P on average. So that's pretty wild. On the weekly, we can see a big change here. We have a second candle that's making it higher. We've had 3 higher lows. We're making a 4th higher low. If we can break out above 19 cents on the weekly candle, it would be confirming a breakout and that we made a bottom, a double bottom actually, close to the big payday crash, which is pretty fundamental and key, I think, personally. 9 cents was really key for everybody. A lot of people who got in, congratulations. It was a really key point for Hex, and I think that the launch by Richard Hart with PulseChain is going to be fundamental for this momentum to keep going. We broke out of a local high of 16.5. We mentioned this red line. We're coming to back test it right now. If we can hold it, we could push back up to the green line where we almost tested, which is at 20 cents. So we could get there. That'd be pretty bullish. We'd be seeing some support here. We could see resistance here, especially because we sold off around 19.7. If we break 19.7, we could easily break up to 22 cents. It'd be great for everyone if we went back to 35 cents. A lot of people were euphoric at that time, and that's crazy because that was a sacrifice phase. And this is, there's news about launch being in the later half of May. And if we go look at the historic returns, May 5th to May 12th, not necessarily greatest returns to write home about. 2021, there was pretty decent returns. 2020, you were accumulating, but also in the next quarter, you were enjoying it. And then for 2021, obviously you're down 2%, but it progressively gets better and better. And these negatives, if you add them all up, you come out on top quarter over quarter if you kept buying. If you would have kept buying throughout all of these are fundamental increases. And so what I hope everyone has been doing is buying through all these dips, because eventually you will start seeing the green popping up here, and especially because of PulseChain launch, the fundamentals are completely different. Hex starting out probably had 336%. You could easily see that 357%. That's insane. Within a month, less than a month. From the 31st to the 14th, that's less than a month that you could have seen over 700% returns. That's insane. And not many people are going to hold through that, and that's okay, because it's easy to sell. It's a lot harder to buy, and selling is a good thing. And so on the 4 hour, we're creating a new low. I still don't like it being this bot, because here it's bottomed out, which is really good. The MACD is pretty positive. We go on the daily, MACD positive. I think even on the weekly it's positive. No, weekly's getting there though. It's getting shorter and shorter. Really fundamental thing here is though the monthly. If you go check the Uniswap vision of Hex, it's actually green, but this is pretty key. This is making new higher lows, and this is on monthly time frame, so this takes a whole month. This is where Hex hit its lowest, it hit its lowest, it hit its lowest each of these months, and just progressively got better and better and better. And no one can time the bottom of these monthly candles. It's very hard to, but when you buy progressively through the dips, you can kind of get your cost average down into the range of where it dipped down to, not exactly the perfect level. Now you can set limit orders. What I like to do is set them as just psychological prices. So for example, to sell, I would set one at 25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents, $1, just depending on what you personally are looking forward to it, and what your cost average is. It's all up to the independent trader, and it shouldn't be frowned upon to sell. Selling is a good thing. Selling is what keeps everything moving. There's sellers and there's buyers. So personally, what I think in the near future is we could continue going because of our RSI. Now we are at levels that we should be at if we were at like 35 cents. So that leaves me a little bit eerie. The weekly is a little different. We're oversold still. Where we're testing 50. We could back test down to 50. But we're making higher lows. So that's another thing. The stock RSI could be hitting the peak. I really want to see PulseChain launch, or we will see another accumulation phase. I'm sorry. That's just the ugly truth. But this has been Monetary Recap, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and leave constructive criticism in the comments. It was very helpful. Thank you.